You don't wake up because of the news. You wake up because the house makes a sound it didn't make yesterday. A strange rattle from the HVAC, a leak stain that wasn't there last week, a letter from your loan servicer telling you your monthly payment is going up, even though your mortgage rate didn't. That's the part nobody really sells. They sell the closing. They sell the keys. They sell the photo in front of the house. But for a lot of middle-class homeowners, the real story starts after that. Not when you buy the house, when the house starts billing you back. Marcus and Janelle learned that the hard way. They bought their home in Columbus, Ohio in late 2023. Late 30s, software sales and nursing. Combined income around $148,000. A normal middle-class plan. And like a lot of buyers, they focused on the mortgage payment, because that's the number everyone trains you to stare at. They budgeted $200 a month for maintenance. They thought they were being responsible. Then the first year happened. Month 3, a roof inspector flags missing shingles. The insurer requires repair before renewal. Month 4, insurance premium jumps 17%. Escrow shortfall letter arrives. Month 6, the water heater fails. 14 years old, never disclosed by previous owners. Emergency replacement. Month 7, emergency fund at 0. Janelle picks up a Saturday shift. Marcus pauses his 401k. "We love the house," Janelle said, "but I haven't slept through the night since we moved in. Every weird sound is money." Here's the misunderstanding at the center of modern homeownership. A fixed-rate mortgage is not the same thing as a fixed housing cost. That fixed rate only locks one part of the machine: principal and interest. It does not lock property taxes. It does not lock homeowners insurance. It does not lock utilities. It does not lock HOA dues. It does not lock repairs. And it definitely does not lock the timing of when all of those decide to hit at once. So when homeowners say, "My mortgage is fixed, so why does it still feel like my budget keeps moving under me?" They're not confused. They're describing something real. Because the monthly pain isn't coming from one line item. It's coming from layers. A stack of variable costs wrapped around a number people were told was stable. That's why this episode isn't really about whether owning is good or bad. It's about understanding the machine. Because if you only budget for the mortgage, you're not budgeting for ownership. You're budgeting for the brochure. Let's start with the most psychologically brutal part of this whole system. Escrow. This is where a lot of homeowners first feel betrayed by the phrase fixed-rate mortgage. Because what's fixed is not always what actually leaves your checking account each month. Your servicer collects principal and interest, sure, but often it also collects money for property taxes and homeowners insurance through escrow. And when those tax and insurance bills rise, your escrow math changes. That can create a shortage, and then your monthly payment gets adjusted. So the rate didn't move, the mortgage didn't reset, but your housing payment still went up. That's not a vibe. That's a mechanism. And the scale matters. The average single-family property tax bill is around $4,427 per year, or roughly $369 per month. That number rose 3.7% in 2025 alone, the highest rate since 2020. Now add homeowners insurance. The national average has reached $3,057 per year as of 2026, up 46% since 2021. In 6 states, premiums jumped more than 20% in a single year, and deductibles climbed 24.5% in 2025. meaning you're paying more and keeping less coverage. That means before you even get to repairs, before the house breaks, you already have two major cost layers sitting on top of the mortgage: taxes, insurance. And because those layers move on their own schedule, a homeowner can experience the exact feeling Marcus and Janelle had. I thought we had this payment figured out. Why does it suddenly feel like the floor moved? Then come the meters. Apartment living hides a lot of them. Homeownership puts them in your face. Electric, gas, water, sometimes sewer, sometimes trash, sometimes seasonal spikes that make one month feel like a completely different house. For Marcus and Janelle, that first winter utility bill was the moment the scale of ownership clicked. Their 2,100 square foot home in Columbus runs hot in winter, and the gas and electric combined landed at $390 that month, more than double what they paid in their apartment. Across the country, homeowners pay roughly $375 more per month on utilities than renters. That's over $4,000 a year, just from the size and systems of the house itself. And that's what makes home ownership feel slippery. The bill isn't just higher, it's harder to mentally pin down. Rent feels like one number. Owning feels like a cluster. And clusters are harder to emotionally budget for than one giant known payment. If escrow is the psychological betrayal, maintenance is the financial ambush. Because maintenance does not arrive like a subscription. It arrives like an event. A roof doesn't charge you a neat monthly fee. An HVAC doesn't politely spread itself across the year. A water heater doesn't care whether this was already an expensive month. The rule of thumb: 1 to 2% of your home's value per year. Bankrate puts the average actual spend closer to $8,808 annually. On a $420,000 home, that's the range. But the emotional trap is this: even if the annual math is technically budgetable, the actual cash flow is lumpy. The year doesn't feel like 700 here, 700 there, nice and even. It feels like nothing for 2 months, then one brutal week, then panic, then denial, then a repair invoice you never planned to see. Marcus and Janelle budgeted $200 a month for maintenance. In 6 months, they spent $8,450 in unplanned repairs. That's not bad luck. That's the math of owning a house built by someone else. And that's how people become house rich, cash poor. Not because they never heard the phrase, maintenance exists, but because knowing a cost exists is not the same thing as being liquid when it arrives. Equity does not fix an HVAC. Here's what nobody draws on the brochure. It's not that the costs are individually fatal. It's that they don't arrive individually. Let me show you what one real month looks like. This is month 14 of ownership. Home value, $420,000, Midwest suburb. Day 1, mortgage payment, auto debits, principal, interest, escrow, $3,000 out the door. Day 3, home insurance renewal arrives. Rate up 13% at renewal. No claims filed, just the market resetting itself. Day 5, HO fee auto debits, up from $295 to $320. A letter arrived in January, no vote required. Day 9, vac technician finds a cracked heat exchanger. Not an emergency, but unsafe to run. 2 quotes, $1,800 to repair or $6,200 to replace. Day 14. Utility bill. Winter spike. Gas and electric combined, $390. Day 22. Property tax reassessment notice. County reassessed after a neighbor's sale. $840 more per year. Escrow will adjust again in 30 days. Total non-mortgage obligations that month, over $5,000. Before groceries, before gas, before childcare. That's the asynchronous cost stack. Hoe on its own rhythm, insurance on its own cycle, taxes on their own calendar, repairs on no calendar at all. Ownership doesn't behave like one stable bill. It behaves like a group chat where everyone starts talking at once, and you're the only one who has to respond. And that's why the total number matters. The hidden costs outside the mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, hoe, maintenance, can reach $21,400 per year. That's $1,783 every month, on top of the mortgage. Now, to be fair, owning can build equity. It can give you appreciation. It can protect you from annual rent increases. That's real. And if a video ignores that, it loses credibility. Marcus and Janelle's home appreciated roughly $22,000 on paper in its first year. Zillow says they're worth more than they paid. But they couldn't pay the water heater bill with appreciation. They couldn't calm down the HVAC repair with a home value estimate. And that's the confusion at the center of the house-rich, cash-poor trap. People often confuse long-term wealth exposure with short-term monthly survivability. Those are not the same thing. Equity is not liquidity. So the smarter question is not, is owning good? The smarter question is, can this household carry the total cost of ownership without constantly losing monthly flexibility? Because if the answer is no, then the household may still technically be building wealth, while emotionally living like every sound in the house is a financial threat. So what do you actually do with this? First, stop measuring affordability by principal and interest alone. That is not the real number. The real number is total ownership drag. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, HOA, maintenance reserve, and whatever breaks on its own calendar. Second, treat maintenance as a sinking fund, not a surprise. Separate account. Auto-transfer $600 to $750 a month. Name it house repair. Touch it only for repairs. Not because surprises disappear, but because pretending they won't happen is how they become emergencies. Third, rebid insurance every renewal cycle. Loyalty is punished in today's insurance market. Switching can save $400 to $900 a year. Fourth, appeal your property tax assessment when it jumps. 30 to 50% of appeals succeed. Cost, $0 to $300 to file. Average refund when successful, over $1,000 a year. Most homeowners never try, because that's the real shift. Homeownership is not just a fixed payment. It's a variable cost lifestyle wrapped around a fixed rate headline. And once you see that clearly, the shame starts to drop. It's not that you're bad at handling a house. It's that the math people use to sell housing is often cleaner than the math people live after closing. So I want to ask you, what was the first bill that made homeownership feel different from the dream you were sold? Was it taxes, insurance, utilities, HOA, or that one repair that landed at exactly the wrong time? Tell me in the comments, what was your ownership shock moment?